Hello, my name is Olivia Jernson, and I am doing disaster management in Macedonia. Macedonia is a country that is located in the Balkans in the area of the southeast Europe. They gained independence from the Social Federal Republic of Yugoslavia in 1991, and their government now practices parliamentary republic, which is exercised democratically. The Republic of North Macedonia suffers from many disasters, such as extreme heat, cold temperatures, earthquakes, and wildfires. So, who is involved in their disaster management? They have a president and a prime minister who make a lot of disaster management decisions. However, they do have multiple organizations which contribute to their disaster management, including the Protection and Rescue Directorate, which is responsible for developing a plan to protect and rescue citizens, assessing the endangerment of disasters, and planning international cooperation during disasters. There is also the Crisis Management Center, which proposes remedies to resolve crisis situations and updating assessments of dangers and risks. Macedonia also practices a top-down disaster management pattern. Systems implemented to aid in disaster management. So there's two systems that I feel like are the most important. One being the next generation incident command system, which allows responders to add information during disasters, such as evacuation areas, and upload videos and pictures of disasters so the citizens can be aware of what is going on. There's also the Macedonian Forest Fire Information System, which generates real-time information on fires and aids in fire management. Disasters that the country have planned for. So the country has planned for extreme cold, such as the extreme cold front that went through in 2017. There was multiple villages that were blocked off by snow drifts, or there was icy roads that didn't allow them to be able to travel anywhere. In addition to a lot of villages had pipes break under them, so there was no clean running water. What the country has decided to do in the case of an extreme cold is to notify citizens about potential dangers, send mobile teams to areas with homeless people, as well as opening 24-hour shelters that allow homeless people to be safe and out of the harsh conditions. They issued instructions to the public as to what they should do during this disaster. They distributed relief supplies after the storm passed and focused heavily on vulnerable populations, which includes children, people with disabilities, people with autoimmune disorders, homeless people, and elderly people. Two more disasters that the country is planned for is extreme heat, which can cause heat stroke, fluid loss, and can be very harmful to people with cardiovascular disease. They implemented what is known as the Heat Health Plan, which includes staying indoors within cool AC temperatures and staying hydrated. They also want to ensure that the vulnerable populations are safe. And there are short-term and long-term solutions to this. So some short-term are ensuring that there's air conditioning within schools, retirement homes, hospitals, and other areas which hold vulnerable populations. And there are long-term solutions such as building thermal roofs and window insulation to ensure that the heat stays outside of the buildings. Wildfires are another problem that arises from extreme heat temperatures. For example, in 2021, there was 16 wildfires that broke out throughout the country and caused immense not only infrastructural damage, but also caused a lot of death and hospitalization injuries. So, in the case of a wildfire, they send responders out to put out fires as fast as possible. They issue warnings to citizens that are possibly in danger of these fires, and they provide aid to victims of fire damage, smoke inhalation, and burns. Some drawbacks and obstacles that I noticed in the disaster management is financial. As I said, they only recently gained independence back in 1991, so the country isn't the most economically stable, which in turn means that they're not able to completely afford the necessary equipment to combat negative effects of disasters and keep their citizens safe. For example, in the 2021 wildfire, they had three firefighting aircrafts that they would have been able to send to assist. However, because the country was unable to afford and put off fixing these aircrafts, they were not able to use those and instead had to seek international help and had international countries send two army helicopters rather than actual firefighting aircrafts to assist in the fire. This also in turn results in another problem, which is that citizens lose faith in their government and start feeling unsafe, which is a negative because they could in turn not follow the instructions because they no longer trust their government as to what to do during these disasters, which only further endangers them. Another problem that I saw with the disaster management in Macedonia is that there's too many organizations. There's so many organizations that there's a lot of overlap in what they're supposed to be doing and the duties they're supposed to be fulfilling by the law in the case of a disaster. And because there's overlap, it can cause the organizations to become confused and some specific duties being overlooked, thinking that other organizations are responsible for them, which can be very negative because then the country is unprepared in certain aspects for disasters. These are my risk for this, and thank you.